or curious individuals seeking knowledge of the unknown are invariably drawn to discover forbidden truths, whether through ancient texts, occult rituals, or unexplained phenomena. These quests for knowledge almost always lead to devastating consequences, as the truths they uncover are far too enormous and terrifying for the human mind to comprehend. The horror in Lovecraft's work is not derived from overtly grotesque monsters, but from the existential dread of confronting forces and entities whose motives, intentions, and existence are beyond the realm of human perception. The concept of unknowable and malevolent alien deities, such as Cthulhu, Yog-Sothoth, and Nyarlathotep, represents an eerie and pervasive presence that looms over humanity, highlighting that human life is not only insignificant, but also ephemeral and fragile. Lovecraft's stories explore the boundaries of human knowledge and how pushing beyond those limits leads to madness, despair, and sometimes death. In stories like The Call of Cthulhu, Lovecraft introduces the terrifying idea of ancient gods, or extraterrestrial beings, who exist in a state of such profound incomprehensibility that their very existence warps the laws of nature. The concept that these entities once ruled the earth, or that they lie dormant beneath the sea or beyond the stars, evokes a sense of awe and dread. As characters encounter these beings, they are confronted not with tangible monsters, but with the chilling reality of an existence where the universe is indifferent to human suffering or survival. In The Shadow over Innsmouth, for example, the protagonist's discovery of the degenerate hybrid creatures, known as Deep Ones, underscores humanity's alienation from the universe. The grotesque hybrids and the decaying, isolated town of Innsmouth suggest that human civilization is but a fragile blip in the grand sweep of time, easily overshadowed by the ancient, darker forces that slumber beneath the surface. The theme of alienation is central to Lovecraft's work. His characters often find themselves separated from their humanity as they begin to understand the horrific truths of the cosmos, causing them to question their own identity, purpose, and reality. This psychological unraveling becomes the key element of his horror. As characters come closer to understanding the universe's vastness and the entities that lurk in its corners, their perception of the world collapses, and they are driven to madness. The Color Out of Space, perhaps one of Lovecraft's most effective stories, illustrates this cosmic horror by depicting a mysterious and malevolent force that arrives from space. A meteorite crashes into the farm of the Gardner family, and the soil becomes tainted, leading to strange mutations in the land, plants, and animals. Over time, the land becomes increasingly corrupted, and the family members fall ill or die in horrific ways. The story doesn't feature a physical monster, but rather an alien force whose nature is beyond understanding. The color that manifests from the meteorite is not merely an unnatural hue, but a representation of something so foreign that it cannot even be described in human terms, an embodiment of the unknowable. This alien force systematically destroys the land and the people, emphasizing the central theme in Lovecraft's work. The universe is indifferent, and anything that crosses paths with humanity, like the meteorite, can have disastrous consequences. This story reflects Lovecraft's belief that humanity is frail and vulnerable, and that even small, seemingly insignificant encounters with the unknown can lead to catastrophic results. In Lovecraft's worldview, this existential dread and sense of insignificance is also reflected in his portrayal of time and space. The universe is ancient beyond comprehension, with civilizations rising and falling before humanity even came into existence. In At the Mountains of Madness, an expedition to Antarctica uncovers the remains of a pre-human civilization, the Elder Things, who were once masters of Earth, but were ultimately wiped out by other alien entities. The revelation that humanity's history is just a tiny speck in the vast, incomprehensible timeline of the universe is deeply unsettling. These ancient civilizations, having interacted with cosmic entities beyond human comprehension, serve as a reminder that human life is not unique or special, but rather a fleeting moment in the unending expanse of the cosmos. Lovecraft's creatures, like the great old ones and the outer gods, seem to exist outside of time itself, and their motives, if they have any, are beyond human understanding. These beings are not concerned with humanity's survival or advancement. They are indifferent to the fate of Earth or its inhabitants. This indifference underscores the insignificance of humanity in the grand cosmic scheme. In many of Lovecraft's works, humanity's futile attempts to transcend its limitations are met with failure. Scientific curiosity and ambition often lead his characters to uncover truths that break their minds and destroy their bodies. The more they learn, the less they understand. In the Dunwich Horror, the character of Wilbur Whately seeks to unlock the mysteries of ancient occult knowledge and cosmic power, but is ultimately undone by the very forces he wishes to control. His quest for knowledge leads to the unleashing of a monstrous, otherworldly being, further demonstrating that humankind's attempt to grasp the unknown is futile and often disastrous. Similarly, in The Shadow Out of Time, a scientist experiences a mind swap with an ancient alien entity, learning of civilizations and species so alien that the knowledge leaves him in a state of deep existential dread. For Lovecraft, the pursuit of knowledge is a dangerous and ultimately destructive endeavor, as the truths one uncovers lead only to madness and the loss of self. The idea that there are entities with motives and ways of thinking beyond human comprehension challenges the very notion of human identity and reality. To learn too much about the universe is to risk losing one's sense of self entirely, which is perhaps one of the most terrifying consequences of all. The ultimate source of horror in Lovecraft's stories lies not in grotesque creatures or physical monstrosities, but in the profound existential terror of realizing that the universe is vast, indifferent, and utterly unconcerned with the fate of humanity. As his characters face these revelations, they experience a gradual disintegration of their sense of identity and a breakdown of their perception of reality. The universe is not some orderly, logical system designed with humanity in mind. Rather, it is an alien, uncaring place where cosmic forces operate according to rules beyond human understanding. Lovecraft's cosmic nihilism suggests that human existence is not only fragile, but ultimately meaningless in the face of such incomprehensible power. Through his tales of ancient beings, distorted realities, and the madness that comes with knowledge, Lovecraft captures the essence of existential horror, where the greatest terror comes not from monsters, but from the crushing realization that humanity is utterly insignificant in the face of an uncaring, infinite cosmos. The horrors of Lovecraft's universe are not the shrieking, tentacled beasts that lurk in the shadows, but the realization that these creatures, and the universe as a whole, exist beyond human comprehension and care, leaving us powerless, alone, and utterly insignificant.